I cannot believe that I'm finally able to record this video and tell you this. I've been dying to say this news, and it's surreal because this is something we've been trying to do now for almost 2 decades. Since honestly, I shot my first documentary in 2008. This has been the goal. But we just found out this week that our film, Fight Kid, has gotten in to one of the biggest festivals in the world. We are going to be premiering at TIFF. And if you've been around this channel at all for any length of time, you know I'm about to get into a huge educational tutorial. We're going to be talking about how we actually came up with the idea for this project and how you can find stories like this and reverse engineer that storytelling process. But I just want to take a quick second to thank the Art of Documentary community, because this project would not have happened had one of our students not brought us the idea, Andreas Gonzalez. Over 2 years ago, Andreas invited us into this community in Florida with this idea of shooting the film Fight Kid. And back then we thought it was going to be a documentary series. But like a lot of ideas in your career, it might need a little bit of reshaping, might need a little bit of re-editing. And so in turn, Michael, the director, the co-founder of AOD and my business partner, he pivoted it into this unique hybrid style short film. And that's what got into TIFF now, which is going to be insane for us to be presenting the film alongside some of our heroes of filmmaking. TIFF just is an incredible festival. If you're not familiar with it, and for us as people from Toronto, it's such an honor to actually get to present it at that festival. And this video today is taken from our latest course called the Short Film Blueprint. This is a guide for you to come up with your idea, pitch it to the right people, even talk about the budget and the funding and the story structure. We open up the edit timeline on this project. This is part of the Art of Documentary community. This course is available right now. It's the most affordable one we've ever released. You can check it out down below. And if you're not familiar with AOD, it's our course and academy. We have 7 courses in that, and the world's most incredible community of filmmakers from all around the globe who we could not have made this film without. And that's the most exciting part of AOD, is everyone now is teaming up and creating the projects, the careers, and the businesses that they've only ever dreamed of with fellow AODers, taking that education and the feedback that they get inside the AOD community and applying it to their careers. So I'm gonna get out of the way. If you want more information on AOD or this course, it's all below in the description. But congrats again to you guys. AOD, we did it. We got into TIFF. What an incredible moment. You have to celebrate these. Appreciate you guys. Let's jump into this video. Mikey, congrats. That's been what is it? We started, what is that, like 2014, I think, is when we first started working. Transcend. No, we got a no from TIFF. Then went on to
Transformer.
No from TIFF.
No.
Then in there, I think I threw Riscate at TIFF. No from TIFF. No.
His Name is Ray came close. They gave us a special screening, not at the festival. It was at the Lightbox. But no, it was not. It was a no.
It was a no. Yeah, we got a participation award.
and then Clear Sky.
Clear Sky, also no. And here we are with Fight Kid.
Yeah.
An incredible journey to get there.
First lesson, obviously, survival of the fittest or perseverance, whatever you want to say. This is a game of attrition, guys. This did not come as like first time filmmakers making Obsession or these stories you always hear about. Those are few and far between. We've been going at this for a long time. And it does take time. Part of this video is to help give you some of the actual steps that we've taken to be successful at last.
Yeah, well, some of the insights of where we perhaps were going wrong. I don't necessarily say wrong because we're very proud of all those films, but in this scenario, there were some key adjustments you made as a director to realize what you needed to produce in order to land in a festival of this caliber.
And I think we should clarify, like, getting into a festival doesn't mean you're successful, and it doesn't mean your film is necessarily successful or not successful. I had a mentor of mine, I thought his show deserved, it was Derek C. in France, and he had made this film, I Know This Much Is True, and I thought he deserved to win way more awards than they did at the Golden Globes, and they ended up winning just Best Actor. And I'm like, man, you guys should have won more. And he goes, honestly, making the show was my award. And that always stuck with me, being like, the other films that we listed, not getting in, they are not failures. It was a dream to be able to make them. They had accomplishments in their own way. This is just something kind of that was desired. It was something that in the industry, it kind of gives you a little bit more to talk about for other jobs. And it was something that we actually engineered the film to try to achieve.
So Mike, let's talk about getting into TIFF or festivals like that. The point you told me is you actually reverse engineered this process. What do you mean by that?
Well, TIFF was the festival we identified as the one we wanted to target. Just being from Toronto, having a little bit of a past relationship with a previous film, His Name is Ray, that we did. It just made the most obvious sense. It's the biggest festival in North America. How can we get in there, right? To just kind of give us a little bit more credibility to start making bigger projects. So the first step I did was watch as many short films that were programmed over the last 5 years from the Shortcuts program at TIFF. So whether you're trying to make North Face or Nike branded content ads, you should be watching, digesting, and studying what it is that festival or that client really desires and wants. And then you can take your story and carve it, mold it and tweak it somewhat so that it's kind of primed for that audience.
Across the board in filmmaking, if you are creating a project that just isn't your own passion project you're going to throw up on one of your own channels, you do need to study the client. You need to study where it's going to be exhibited. And that will change the actual DNA of what you're creating. And sometimes you don't get into that festival. For my film Rescate, I was trying to get into the Young Directors Awards, and I knew they liked films in this one category called A Changing World or trying to, it was about having an altruistic value. So I made it about this paramedics, and that's what I studied those films. I studied the films that they had put in there before. Ultimately, I didn't get in, but what it did do was, because the YDAs was specifically around commercial work, it started getting me a ton of commercial work because I was signaling to people out there, this is the kind of film I can make.
Yeah, you have a very clear objective. It's not kind of an aimless piece of content or film that you're making for everybody. It's targeted and focused, and even if it doesn't hit the bullseye, it will at least land on the target.
And in the coming lessons in this course, we're going to break down all of the budget, the location, all the pre-production, even Mike's pre-interviews with our characters to get to the story, all the way through to the edit timeline, post-production, and submitting to the festival.
And your marketing package as well.
And your marketing package. This is all in our new $49 short film blueprint course, which is available now. You can get the link down below. And this course reverse engineers each step of the process to finishing your first, or maybe like us, your 10th short film and getting it onto a platform or distribution that you so desire. And for those of you watching on YouTube, we actually put a list down below of our favorite short films, both some of the ones we've produced and from our students from Art of Documentary, which you'll see they all focus on a moment, and it's a great way for you to study and be inspired by them. I know when I've made some of my films, there's been one particular short film that I'll just study and watch again and again and again and see how that filmmaker put it together to the point that it becomes just very obvious on how I need to go about and make my film. So get into those films and study them. There's no shame in having a film that you're referencing against your own. So Mike, after watching, which I appreciate your dedication, 30 shorts, what did you discover?
Great question. They were precise. That would be the biggest takeaway I had after making, 4 or 5 feature films where I go on long character journeys, sometimes over the course of years, and I'm seeing a character transform from someone who's maybe addicted to clear-minded, or somebody, who's a runner who becomes a politician. These characters who go on these big arcs. A short film and the ones I was watching, I noticed immediately, this is not a big arc. This is not about transformation. This is about revelation. We are just experiencing one moment with the character. Something specific is being revealed about them, and I'm not getting 10 years of backstory crammed into a 10-minute short. I'm getting just a moment of that 10 years, which represents everything. And I think that to me was the biggest, as a feature director, the biggest revelation, but it's also the biggest mistake I see young filmmakers or new filmmakers who are doing shorts make, is they're trying to squeeze so much into a 10-minute film. And it leaves you, it's like a buffet, nothing tastes good.
Yeah.
You're just too much.
So we've reverse engineered the project. We studied where it's going to be exhibited. Now we're recognizing that these projects as well are not condensed features. They're not trying to tell a life story. So you're really looking for a moment in someone's life.
Correct. You know, what is that event? What is that conversation? Again, watching dozens upon dozens of shorts, there's some where the entire thing is a conversation at a gas station. It's one 12-minute scene, right? There's no right or wrong in terms of what your concept is, but it needs to be precise and it needs to be focused. So in the event of Fight Kid, for instance, there was a whole backstory of this father getting his son into MMA when he was 3 years old. He lied about his age so he could wrestle and fight the 4-year-olds. You know, all these interesting things. He was a champion at a young age. But when he told me he had an upcoming fight and he was going to need to lose 10 pounds in one day to do the fight, I said, that moment represents your entire lifetime of being obsessed with getting your kid to this level and trying to get him to the maximum potential of his ability. And so it's like, could we make a film around that one weight loss moment that represented their entire life's journey and life's work?
Amazing. And this came from us actually going 2 years ago and doing a test shoot with the AOD community.
Yeah.
Andreas Gonzalez brought us the story idea, and we spent like a full week there down in Florida exploring different characters, researching them. And then for us, research isn't just sitting down and talking to people, which a big part of that was, but it's also getting our cameras out and seeing what do they look like on camera? What does that world begin to signal to us? You had to study that footage, and we cut together trailers and little vignettes of these characters, but ultimately it was Isaiah who kind of stuck out for us.
Yeah, Isaiah and his father.
Yes.
I think the relationship in particular was something, even though the project didn't get picked up yet, hopefully the TIFF helps. This was part of the kind of trajectory, is if we can prove this concept, maybe now we can go back with the doc series. But we think the reason, you know, while the doc series didn't get picked up, Eddie and Isaiah, their relationship of being kind of this loving father-son, but also pretty violent, you know, and pretty extreme, that we couldn't let that go to waste. We didn't want to let him get older and older and not let this story be told. We wanted to tell the story in some capacity. And so that's where it's like, let's rejig this from a doc series to maybe some type of different format.
Mike, I've found this true as well in my short films, that you need to have a core moment to anchor the film. Like I think of when DJI asked me to do a short film, I went out and started asking all sorts of extreme athletes because it was going to be a 4D. So I know I needed to show something with motion. I was studying what DJI wanted, is like, well, they want to show this camera in action. So I was talking to horseback riders. I was talking to race car drivers. And then I met this one dirt bike rider, and he did jumps. He wasn't a professional. His name was Braxton. But there was a unique thing, is he had spoken to me saying he wants to go back one day and actually go to the jump that took the life of his cousin and do it as this kind of cathartic experience. So that was a moment I was like, oh, well, there's my film. Like it's just going to tell itself. I don't know how that's going to end, but I know I now have a beginning, middle, and end. Beginning, he's going there. Middle, he's making the jump. End, he talks about what it is. So when we found out that Isaiah was actually having a fight coming up, I remember we were talking about this. I was going on my honeymoon. We were just like, we got to do it, man. We have full send. We have to go do this.
We know we have an ending. It's like, I think if you guys are thinking of doing, whether it's a pure doc, scripted, or something in the middle, we're talking about this further in the short film blueprint that we're releasing, but the beginning and ending are so essential.
Yes.
And with the biking film, Trails of Dust, it's like, you know, you're going to have an ending. He's going to do the jump. Whatever happens, we don't know. But that is important, right? And same with, obviously, Fight Kid. We know he's going to have a fight. We don't know if he'll win or lose, but we know that we can go a day, 2 days before and create something, because we know there is going to be an ending. It's not going to be ambiguous. And too many filmmakers, they set out because all they have is a character. But a character is important, but we need to have, again, that moment, an event, something that they're going towards.
So your ingredients, your style, you reverse engineer, you know what kind of style of format of film needs to exist. In this case, it was a short film, TIFF, and in
15 minutes in length. I should mention that. Like I actually studied the lengths of these things.
Exactly. So you knew the format, but then you need the story, which is the event. Just find one single moment. A kid is going to go to a fight. A dirt biker is going to drive off a cliff. There's your moment. That's what the film's based around. Mike, what is the third ingredient?
It's about revelation, not transformation, when it comes to making a short.
When you first told me that, I pushed back at first because I was like, well, I'm always saying where characters need to transform. And you go, yes, Mark. You're like, but in a feature.
Yes. A feature, you have time. You have time to show the character make more mistakes and then kind of check themselves and have moments of reflection. And I remember having conversations with my producers who were more feature-length producers and hadn't done a lot of shorts. They brought this point up when I showed them the initial script, and I was like, I think we need Eddie, being a little more reflective. We need him like kind of second guessing his choices. I'm like, no, there's no time for that. We need to actually condense it into more of a pressure cooker. So all we feel is bad decisions. All we feel is this, again, we just feel revelation of this character and the relationship with their son. That's all we have time for. And again, at some points, I was scripting out and kind of thinking about scenes where, we could show the son speak up for himself. And we're like, no, you know what? This is opening too many doors. We need to just stay focused on the uneasiness and complication of this love obsession relationship.
And you know what? By not overstating all of that, you let the audience begin to think about that, and they start asking questions going, well, what's the mom like? Like, what's actually her point in the story?
And that's hopefully opening the door for a feature.
Exactly.
I mean, that is the point for so many of us trying to make shorts, is it will be a gateway to do the feature, like Whiplash or any number of shorts that have been made that have led the director to bigger things, is that you have just a scene, you have just this moment, and you're left, as Mark's saying, I want to know the whole story.
I mean, that was Backrooms. Backrooms was just like a frame forge little graphic thing.
Well, so many of
people are like, I want more of this.
So many of these new films I'm seeing, I'm not too aware, but like Backrooms in Hollywood, they're starting to pursue YouTube creators who are doing shorts to say, hey, there's a concept there. You've tapped into a single moment and idea. What happens if we bring this out into a feature? Yeah. So that is your goal with the short, is finding the moment that you can build the story around.
Hey guys, so if you're in Toronto, come hang out with us. We're going to be doing some after parties around the film. There's going to be 3 screenings of Fight Kid. It's a very exciting moment for us and the AOD community who's gotten behind this project. We'd love to see you, love to meet you in person. And if you want to go shoot your own short film, we have the short film blueprint course. It's available now, right, Mike?
Yeah, I take you through the exact 10 steps. This was kind of the first step, finding that moment, reverse engineering the project. But then we've got to talk to the characters, build out our script. We've got to figure out our budget. I give you our exact budget we used, but then different scenarios based off of whether you have $10,000 or no dollars. Okay, I take you all the way through into how I edited this at 4 a.m. every morning while my wife was sick. It was the only time I could make this film. And I show you even our marketing package, our EPK, our electronic press kit. You're going to get to see kind of what that looks like if you're submitting your film, just to give it a little more push, a little more oomph. So full details on how to getting your film seen and made.
And this course is just a small glimpse of the content that you'll get inside of Art of Documentary. And when you join any one of our main 7 courses, you'll actually begin to get to rub shoulders with the AOD community. You can get on the Facebook. We crew up all of our films with AOD filmmakers. It's the most incredible community of motivated, talented people you'll meet around the world who are at all stages of their career. So you'll find people who are running the same race as you.
What we say all the time is, information is important, and we give you the exact steps that we follow, but implementation is really the key, is how you take your idea and apply it specifically to the budget you have, the camera you have, and you're going to learn that by getting feedback from us and the other filmmakers inside AOD.
Yeah, it's not just about what you're doing, but who you're doing it with.
100%.
We would love to journey with you. So check out Art of Documentary. The doors open this September again. And hey, come hang out with us at TIFF as well.
Yeah, love to see you there.
Well done, Mikey.
Good job, finally.
Finally.
We've been waiting to make this video for a while.
Yeah, I know. We've been dying to make a video like this. We did it. TIFF, thank you.
See you on the red carpet.